Hello everybody, this is Marsha Holland, Glam Mama. I guess you all wondered where in the heck have I been for the last 3 years. I've wondered that myself. I thought I would just do a little bit of makeup today. I'm going to a counseling session here at 2:30, so I thought I was going to do a live, but believe it or not, it's been so long since I've done a live, I'm a wee bit nervous, even nervous about doing a video. But anyway, what have I been doing? Well, for those of you that don't know, me and the Lord have been very, very close for the last 3 years. The first thing that happened in my life, and I'm not magnifying my situation because I know everybody is going through something, and a lot of somethings. I'm not the only one, but I've had so many people ask me, and so I thought, well, instead of just disappearing, because that's what I was going to do, is just fall off the face of the earth as far as Facebook was concerned. But I've had so many nice people contact me wanting me to do lives again, so I thought, I just haven't been motivated. I've been severely depressed and trying to pull myself up out of all of that. But I'll highlight the things if I can. My makeup, let me tell you this, the makeup I'm going to use today is just a conglomeration of different stuff that I already have. I have not joined a company. I don't know if I'm going to do that again. I've got a lot of makeup to use up. You know, these companies always want you to buy so much every month, you know, to keep active. And so I've got a room full of stuff. So I thought I would just try to use some of the stuff I've got. This was just an advertisement I saw. This is called, I can't even pronounce it. It's YAUVARA, Amplified Youth Spring. So, man, I have not been taking care of myself, and so I really do need to take care of this. It says for appearance, smoothness, firmness, and vibrancy in aging skin. So that's what aging skin looks like. Very nice box. I like it. You've probably seen it. So usually I, of course, wash your face first with a good wash. And then you want to do any oil that you might have. So it just takes a couple of little squirts. And it smells heavenly. I think it's, you know, all natural, and it's herbs and stuff. I don't know if I can talk and do this too. I'll try. So do your oil first. Anyway, back in 2020, my husband was diagnosed with, well, 2015, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's and Lewy body disease. And so, but he did pretty good. My older daughter came to live with us, and so I was still able to work. And so things were working out okay. You know, he could still move around and get around on his own. So that's how we were doing it. And then one Thursday, here's moisturizer I'm using. Pharmacy. One Thursday I came home from work, and right in front of me he tripped and fell, and he broke his femur bone. Well, it was quite the ordeal because he wouldn't let me call the ambulance, and so I couldn't get him up. He was just like, you know, there was no way I could get him up, and I tried everything. I had some you know, these rehab belts and things, you know. I had some of those when I had my hip replaced. Tried to get him up that way. He still would not let me call ambulance. I don't have any primer in here. Shoot, hang on. I hope this doesn't disconnect. Don't disconnect me now. Okay, I don't know if that disconnected us or not. I think it did. I'll try to combine the two. I forgot primer, and I couldn't find my pharmacy primer, so I'm using some that I found. It's been so long since I've done this routine, I'm not kidding you. But you always want to use primer. Oh, forgot how good that felt. So anyway, where was I? So he fell, broke his femur. Couldn't get him up off the floor. 5 o'clock in the morning, I finally called the ambulance. Let me tell you what, that poor guy, he had to have surgery. And when he woke up from his surgery, total different person. He had no idea who I was. He didn't know where he was. He didn't know what happened. It was just like downhill. So we had 4 horrible days in the hospital because I'm telling you, he was trying to get out of bed. He had, you know how that goes. They have all kinds of stuff connected to him. This is what is this? From IL Maquillage, or I don't know what that is. Saw an ad. Highlighter. Anyway, not highlighter. I don't know my stuff anymore. Anyway, he was not the same. I went 4 nights without sleep. And bless his heart, we ended up going to rehab, which I was so glad, but it was during COVID. So during COVID, at the rehab, they said I could stay with him because I said, you're going to be going crazy with him because he wants to get up and tear everything up. So they did let me stay, but they told me I could not leave. If I went in there, I had to stay. I wasn't going to let him stay by himself in there. You know how that goes. So we spent 3 weeks in rehab, and he did okay. He never was mean. He was always sweet, never was mean. Thank goodness, because sometimes they get really, really, mean. But he didn't. He stayed sweet. So he did okay. Then we had home care. Well, I already knew I wasn't going to be able to go back to work. So number 1 was my husband getting sick. Number 2, I lost my career and my income. So all we had was our Social Security, but we had 2 Social Securities, so I managed it. In between all that, I had our house refinanced so we could lower the payment. That worked out good. I'm going to use Pharmacy CC cream. It's one of my faves. So anyway, where was I? I don't even know my brain anymore. So anyway, we ended up having some home care and all that kind of stuff. Well, he got worse and worse and worse and worse. His memory got worse. He couldn't control anything anymore, and so we had hospice come in. But I think I had I want to say 1.5 years of home care where I just took care of him by myself. And it got so hard. I couldn't lift him. He had lost tons of weight, but still he was like dead weight. I just couldn't. There's 2 ways you can do that. Well, actually, there's 3 ways you can do it. This is a tinted moisturizer. As you can see, it doesn't take much. Oh dear. So anywho, I'm rambling, so forgive me. We ended up having hospice come in, and that was really, that was a blessing. We got a hospital bed. I was having to keep him trapped in the bed because he kept trying to get up in the middle of the night. And all I could see was him falling and hitting his head and then having brain damage. I saw that a lot in the hospital when I worked there. So, anyway, got him a hospital bed and all that. Hospice came, I don't know, for about 6 months maybe. And they were so great. I don't know what I would have done without him, but I still had a lot I had to do by myself. Turning him in bed when he got to where he couldn't get up. Man, that was, whew. I even bought a little contraption to try to lift him and stuff, and it just didn't work out very well. But anyway, we managed, and on May 1st, he had about a week where they told me he wasn't going to last very much longer. And so for me to, get myself ready. So it was about a week of horrible stuff, giving him medicine every time he moaned. And May 1st, I had shoved our beds together. And so I had him in my arms May 1st, whatever that was, in 2022. Was it 2022? Yeah, May 1st, 2022. And I was holding him in my arms. He took his last breath. And So that was horrible to go through. If anybody wants to know how that was, just let me know and I'll tell you how that worked. But, you know, not right now. Let's do a little powder. This is Pharmacy's, I think it's CC powder. I don't remember. Anywho, so he passed away, and then I had some kind of awful spell where I had to go to the emergency room. Well, that was before he died. I had to have that spell. I had that spell. And then they said I need to go see a heart doctor. So then in the meantime, I had to have an echo done, and then he passes away, and then I find out that my ejection fraction was only 15. So I guess I would have just died in my sleep had I not had that spell. My body was trying to help me out, I suppose. Scared the pee-waddle-doo out of me, though. Anyway, where was I? So I had the spell, went and had the echo, found out about that. So I went to a heart doctor. There's two kinds of heart doctors. One, what they call the plumber. The other one they call the electrician. So I went to the electricianist. It's not really, that's what people say. It's not really that. But anyway, he does all the things like pacemakers and all that good stuff. So long story short, I ended up having to have a pacemaker defibrillator. So that's keeping me kicking. And what else? Okay, that was that. So that I had to have that. John passed away May 1st. And then I had these spells. And then in the meantime, trying to take care of Marla's chickens and all that kind of stuff. And then Marla was still with me, so she helped me out with the pacemaker stuff when I had to go to the hospital and stuff. And we had all these chickens and stuff, and way over our legal limit. And so, y'all forgive me, I just am so scatterbrained. So, had the pacemaker put in. That was August 19th, okay? And then in between, some depression, trying to grieve over John and all that kind of stuff, and then losing my job, and then this pacemaker thing, I was beginning to kind of get overwhelmed. So I just couldn't come on here and do makeup and do, you know, anything anymore like I was doing. I really enjoyed it a whole lot. I love visiting with everybody and talking to everybody, but I just couldn't do it. I was getting like pushed down. And so come January 22nd, the month of January was real hard for my daughter. She had bipolar, and she was really suffering and tormented, wouldn't take her medicine. And it was, you know, well, I won't get into it. I can't really talk a whole lot about this, and I'll tell you why. She was murdered in Irving, Texas, January 22nd. And that was on a Sunday, and I didn't know about it until Wednesday when they came by the house. But she was brutally stabbed in her sleep with a sword. And that's just about all I can tell you, because the trial has not happened yet. So I am not going to be talking a whole lot about it. You understand that. But anyway, that was the icing on the cake, man. People have always said, you know, why don't you go get some counseling? I don't want to go to counseling. I don't need to go to counseling. Well, at that point, when that happened, let me tell you what. I said, okay, I give up. I'm going to counseling. So I am in counseling now, trying to cope with everything. And I really love my counselor. She's really, really sweet. And I think it's helping. This is some, help me out here. Oh, my label's gone. Anyway, so what happened after she passed away? Oh, yeah. She passed away January 22nd, okay? Well, on February 15th, about 3 weeks later, I was out on the patio, and by George, I tripped. I didn't really trip. My body turned, but my feet didn't. And I landed on both of my knees on the concrete slab out there on the patio. And let me tell you what. I broke my femur on the same leg that I have all this that I've had artificial hips and all that. I've had 3 artificial hips. And so, man, that hurt so bad that it sounded like, when my leg broke, it sounded like a tree snapped. I screamed bloody murder, I'm telling you. It was awful. And I think I had a weak place on my leg, in my leg, because when I was a baby, a nurse gave me a shot with a dirty needle, and I got gangrene. And you know I'm not doing eye primer, so I don't have all my stuff in here. I'm disoriented. But anyway, it was horrible. It hurt worse than any of the hip replacements I've had. I've had 3, and it hurt worse than that. But when I was a baby, a nurse gave me a shot with a dirty needle, and I got gangrene in my leg. And instead of cutting my leg off, they decided they would just operate and remove the dead leg bone, right? Because I had about 2 inches of rotten bone in there. And so that's what they did. Remove that leg bone. And so my leg's been shorter than the other all my life, and blah, 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 blah. And when I looked at the x-ray where the break was, it was right there, right in that area. So I imagine it was weak. And so, anyway, I had emergency surgery. And let me tell you, I am so full of wires and everything that they use to put you back together with. I am so grateful for these doctors that, you know, I'm going to have some limitations with it. Can't bend my leg certain places, and I found out yesterday it's a possibility I might end up having to use a cane the rest of my life, but I'm going to try not to. But anyway, I've always been grateful to have a leg, you know, because I came so close to losing my leg when I was a baby. So, well, I'm thinking about doing this right here. You see I'm doing a darker color here. And if you have hooded eyes, like you can see, I've got gigantic hooded eyes. So you want to take like your darker one, and I go to the edge here, and I'll show you a little trick that I learned. You want to come up over your bone. You see I have a big bone there. Cover up, go up over your bone, and then kind of, even if you want to do an imaginary one, just so you can get a little bit of that color, going straight across to the tip of your brow. And then we want to kind of smooth it out. Yeah. Kind of, and it's supposed to kind of take away from the big hood, right? Okay, so I had surgery, I had rehab I had to go through, and the break was the kind that I couldn't put my foot down on the ground for 3 months. Yes, I was in a wheelchair, had therapy, blah, 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 all of that. I have graduated from a wheelchair to a walker, and now I'm on my cane. But guess what? That ain't all. No. I have got several other little things happening, which I don't have all the details about yet. You've probably heard me complain about my thyroid always being messed up, right? Well, it's still messed up. And I want you to take a peek at my eyebrows. There's no eyebrows left. Look at that. You see that? That's one sign that you got a problem with your thyroid. And this is something else. I'm still, I go to the doctor on the 11th of October, my primary care doctor, and this looks like I'm losing hair right here. You know what he told me when I showed it to him? I've always had bangs and a pixie, so I never really noticed that. But he said, if I didn't know better, and I know you didn't, but I would swear that you were having hair transplants. That's what that looks like, I guess. Well, no, thank you. It's something going on. I don't know if it's my thyroid again or what, but we're still in the process of trying to figure out what that is. And what else? There's something else. I like to highlight my brow area. What else? Something else has happened. So much I can't even keep up with it. I stayed with my daughter, my other daughter. She's a nurse. I stayed with her for, gosh, from the time I got out on March 7th, my birthday, I went to her house. We had a hospital bed, moved in there, and I lived with her until about, I don't know, after Father's Day. And so I was so worried about my chickens. I had a little friend who was taking care of my chickens for me, but you know, that's a pretty big job. Excuse me. Anyway, so I got home. I started having it during this heat, you know, this heat wave we were having. I was so short of breath. I was concerned. I couldn't walk to the mailbox. I couldn't barely walk across the kitchen, and I have a small kitchen, and so I made an appointment to go back to the heart clinic. They did a bunch of tests and everything was fine. So I don't know. I didn't tell you I was diagnosed with heart failure with low ejection fraction. My ejection fraction got back up to 50%, which is normal, but I was still having all this shortness of breath. I'm telling you, it was really starting to worry me. But did a bunch of tests and everything came back normal, you know, so okay, so just chalk it off as heat. I don't know. I'm leaving out something. I do so bad on my eyebrows, y'all. I used to have really nice brows. A lot of times I didn't do anything to them. So my primary doctor, before I fell, I was falling a lot. You know, I just felt unbalanced, you know, and when I would fall, it never hurt me. I was able to catch the falls. But still, he says, I think, why don't we just get you into a neurologist and see if there's something going on of why you can't keep your balance. Well, everything else happened so much. I broke my leg and all that, so I canceled my appointment. And then when I got back on my feet, I rescheduled. So I saw him on September the 11th. And I walked in there and I said, I'm probably going to be your easiest patient because I really don't think I should be here. And I told him what the deal was. Well, man, I was in there an hour. He was poking and prodding on me and talking about Parkinson's. And I thought, he says, you don't have Parkinson's. You could people can sometimes have the symptoms, but you don't really have it. Great. So anyway, he wanted me to have a brain scan and a cervical scan. So I had that, I think, when was that? Last week or two? My brain is okay. And I do have some stuff going on with my C4 and 5. But let me tell you, never say never, but I'm saying I'm not going to have any more surgery. Ugh. I've had too much surgery in my life. But, you know, never say never. So anyway, waiting. So I go back to I go back to the neurologist on the 11th, and they're going to do a nerve and a muscle test. I have no idea what that means or what it's going to be or if it's going to hurt. So if anybody knows, let me know. So I'm going to have that done. And the girl says, you'll know everything that's going on when you have those tests. Okay. So we're doing that on the 11th, and then I'm going back to my primary care doctor on the 11th also. So I think this is Faberlique's liner. You know, for so long a time, I didn't wear makeup. I also didn't clean my face. I just couldn't get motivated to do anything but breathe, you know. Get this, I actually went out in public with no makeup. Woo! The old me would have croaked. But anyway, oh man, I meant to get a Q-tip. Always need a Q-tip. I like to kind of smear that out a little bit. Anywho, I gotta keep up with the time too. I lost my black cat. He died. Of course, he was like 17. And I have 3 left, and they're all old, so there's no way I can find them a home. That would be terrible, just because you get old. And I lost 3 of my chickens in this heat. 3 in the heat. It was horrible. Bad. But anywho, when I do my eyeliner underneath, if I do it, I like to touch the liquid that I've done up above and just kind of go over the lash part. Now, you know, I have also done the inner tear line and stuff myself, but I'm not going to do it today. Usually I do that with a Q-tip. I'm not going to do false lashes today because, man, I'm going to have to get back and practice with that. Ooh, I have lost my lost my talent, I guess, for doing eyelashes. I'm going to have to practice. It takes practice. It do take practice. Let me see here. It's another thing I do with a Q-tip, which I didn't bring in here, so we'll just use this. I like to smudge my eyeliner. I don't like, you know, real stark eyeliner. In the meantime, I don't know if you guys remember when John was still alive, I had cut my hair and ruined it. I got so frustrated, and at the time, girls were just going crazy, you know, shaving their heads and stuff. So I thought, yeah, I'm going to do that. I'm going to shave my head. And I shaved it all the way down to my scalp. It was kind of freeing, to tell you the truth. This is brow mascara, or brow, whatever. Just kind of sets your brows, you know. Anywho, forgot what I was saying. I'm getting old. 76. I think this is, I can't see a thing. Faberlic. Faberlic, long and strong. Just gonna do mascara, no lashes today, till I get back in the swing of things. Anyway, I was talking about my hair. And so much has happened that I have just let it grow. It's not been cut, trimmed, or nothing since I shaved my head. I haven't had longer hair since high school. I am struggling about what to do with it. Finally got long enough where I could, you know, twirl it up and put one of those clips in it. It's so hot. I'll show you here in a minute. And it's funny, I've always had body in my hair, but not really. I had natural curly hair when I was little, but nothing as an adult. Of course, I did keep it cut off. Ever since high school, it's been short. But now I've got some curl in here. So it looks okay. I'm working with it, and I use a heat curling brush thingy when I go to church. Let's do a little bit of lips. Is this pharmacy or fabric? Girl, I still have a few Acti-Labs. I've got Urban Retreat. I've got pharmacy. This is pharmacy. And I'm going to have to go through, and I'm sure some of it is expired. I don't throw anything away. Look how dark that is. So anywho, what time is it? Oh, let me see here. 1:44. Okay, I'm fixing to have an alarm go off. Let's tone that down a little, make it more pinky. Maybe. I actually thought that was gloss. It's not. Did I lose you? Oh, the alarm went off. Okay, so we are going to brush my hair. And I usually, when I go somewhere, I will, wear my hair down. And then I keep I keep one of these around my wrist, because let me tell you, when I get hot, I get hot. Oh, I am down to 5 chickens now. I'm still one over the limit. Well, I've probably left out a bunch, but I'm sure y'all are tired of hearing me yap. But this is Marsha Holland Glam Memo. I'm not going to curl my hair today. Getting ready to go to my counseling appointment. And I didn't have the nerve to do a video. I mean a live. So I did this video. So, yeah. I will talk to you again. Thank you so much for reaching out to me. All of you people that have been so kind and so worried. But I'm okay. Me and God are going to get through this for sure. Because He says so. I will talk to you later, okay? Love you.